Aha, there we have it.
There we
Now we're
go.
live. Hi, Ashley Jones. This is Bradley Charbonneau. I'm here at Storyhouse Works. We're here for the interviews for the book, The Unexpected Gifts Anthology. I'm
Hello.
here with Ashley Jones. Hi, Ashley.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here.
Yes, yes. In fact, Ashley and I, we were just talking offline. We are so close geographically. She's in Utrecht, in the center of the Netherlands. I am outside of Utrecht. So, no, we should have done this in person.
I know I was actually going to message you and say, shall we just do this in person? But I thought it might be last too late. So we could do another one in person for sure.
That's a good
Live
idea.
sessions.
That'd be really cool. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
So I have to say, this has already been super fun because I read the stories in the anthology. I get to know you a little bit better. We have a little chat. It really sort of like deepens the story as well. And
Yeah.
so I can highly recommend this to anybody looking to be in an anthology or creating an anthology if they're like looking for anthologies and found this video. I think this is really cool. It's a sort of it's an unexpected gift for this whole anthology. So thank you to Hannah Hoover and Storyhouse Works for creating this whole thing because already we are making more of a connection and we're digging in deeper. And then completely honestly, I pay attention to your story more because
Yeah.
I know we're gonna have a chat about it. And it was really cool. And your story, we'll talk about it more, but wow, it hit home a little, maybe too deeply. Your story. It was like,
It's pretty raw.
oh, it's yes. So on that note, Ashley, as I'm blabbing away here, can you tell us the title of your contribution to the Unexpected Gifts anthology and just a little bit what it's about without giving away too much so that people go buy the book.
Yeah, so my story is called Untitled Document. And I had attended the Storyworks conference last year,
Oh,
the
right,
Storyhouse
right.
Works conference. And I work at home on my own, and I all of a sudden was surrounded by all these amazing self-published authors or people who wanted to be published. And Hannah was asking for stories for this anthology. And I came home really inspired, and I was like, let's just sit down, write something.
Yeah.
I never sent any of my writing to anyone before, so I was
Wow.
a hidden writer. I didn't share any of my work with anyone, not even my husband. So I
Been there.
thought,
I've
well,
totally been there.
sending it to Hannah was really that brave step for me. And I honestly did not think it would see the light of day. So I wrote it very much from the heart. And my story is really one of finding my way back to the page after not writing for years. Um, and finding it hard being in a new country. I'm from Scotland. We had moved to the Netherlands and I was really homesick. And
Yeah.
I found my way back to the page, but it was hard to get there. And I guess my story is really part of that journey.
So, okay, because I read your story and because we talked about it offline for a minute, and because I way too can associate with the story of not writing and writer's block and every way you want to call it,
Yeah.
it's the idea of not basically not writing.
Yeah.
But then, because you tell the different stories in your story about, and then this happened, and then this happened, and you thought, oh, maybe now I'll write. Oh, maybe this will kick it into gear. Or maybe this will get me started. Nope, 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 nope. And then finally, what I didn't understand, or what I'd like to know more, I don't think you said it, was like, what was that final trigger? We talked about the Cologne Christmas market,
Yeah.
right? But I think that was
The
like at least
dreadful
twice, I think,
magical
right?
trip. It was.
Yes, yeah.
You
But
know,
then
I
finally you came home and then it kicked off. Like, what was that triggering moment that finally started it
yeah.
for you?
It's interesting because I don't think that there was just one singular moment, but
Okay.
there was one singular moment that I was probably at my lowest point,
Yeah.
feeling really down and really homesick for Scotland.
Yeah.
I that's the real crux of it, that I missed my homeland so desperately. And I was online in the middle of the night typing away on my iPhone in the dark. And I ended up, I don't know if you do this yourself, Bradley, but you end up in a Wikipedia rabbit hole
Yeah.
Googling, ancient kings and queens. And that's kind of where I was. I was in the
Wow.
depth of ancient Scottish history on Wikipedia, and a story came forward. And that's really where I started writing my own book, which I'm still working on, hopefully in the final edit now. Um, I'm very much inspired by my love for Scotland and that homesickness. So it was a bit of a love letter written in the written in the depth of sadness, really. Um, and then it brought me to Storyhouse Works, which has been wonderful
Wow.
and kind of opened the door to this whole world of writers and authors
Yeah.
living and working in Utrecht or in the
Wow.
Netherlands, rather.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to dig a tiny bit deeper because you got there. We were really close because you said Wikipedia, rabbit hole, ancient kings, because you're digging. Because in my, I sort of see things very clearly as like consume and create.
Yeah.
Like consume is like we're watching Netflix, right? We're reading a book, we're
Yeah.
digging into Wikipedia and looking at ancient kings. Creating is a whole different action. So,
Mm.
because I don't know, you can tell us, but do you often like scroll, Wikipedia rabbit holes and stuff like that? So what was the difference that turned this one from the research, like the passive to the active?
Yeah. I It's interesting. I've never been asked about my process before, I think because I'm so early on in my own writer's journey, but
Yeah,
I'm a big reader. And so, yeah, I consume a lot. I consume a
yeah,
lot of historical fiction, fantasy romance, and I really any genre, but that was kind of what I was consuming over the past couple of years, particularly. Um, and I think when I was consuming, the little sparkles of my own story were coming forward, and it was really like fully formed characters that were perhaps inspired by all these different real life people that I was reading about. Um, and so I had these two people, or three people actually. It was two sisters and this one man in my head, and that's where it started. It started with the people first. That's kind
mm,
of where my
wow,
story was born from.
wow, wow, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
That is super cool.
It sounds very cheesy when I say to people and say it literally poured from me, this book that I've been writing. It was there, it just came forth. And for some reason
Yeah.
at that point when I was feeling at my lowest, that was really when it decided to save me, really.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mm. So that's your big, awesome book that's currently still in the works, right?
Hopefully awesome. Hope I think so.
Okay, okay.
Let's see.
Well, I don't know if I base it on the story I read in your anthology. I'm looking
Thank
forward to
you.
it. So that's the big, scary, monstrous goal.
Mm,
Whereas then this anthology piece, we had a deadline and we had editors and we had time constraints and word
yeah.
counts and stuff. So how was that process of writing for? Had you ever written for an anthology before or no?
Never.
And
No, as I say, I had never written for anyone other than myself before.
wow,
I'd never worked a
wow,
deadline. I'd never shared anything I've written with anyone. So,
wow,
yeah, I
that's
was
amazing. That's
I'm a
great.
baby in this whole process.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's beautiful. I mean, it's like birth to your creative self,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
I
Storyhouse
love it.
Works has given birth to me as an author.
I love it. I love it. So how were your parents and uncles and aunts? How were the like the editor? Because there was editors and proofreaders and the
Yeah.
book designers and a whole team working on this anthology. How was that working then with an editor and the feedback and stuff? How did that go?
Yeah, it was so wonderful. I mean, even just sending it to Hannah in the first instance, clicking the send button and knowing that other people's eyes were going to be on it and getting her initial feedback was wonderful. It was just a little bit of that stamp of validation to say, okay, I'm
Yeah,
I'm on to something. So when she
yeah.
picked me to be in the anthology, I had a little cry and then I told my husband. Um,
Oh,
and then being introduced, having the editors work on it and just their little they're bits of input where I was like, of course, like why hadn't I thought of that? Or just flipping the sentence structure. But also they what was wonderful was they highlighted the bits that they really liked. So rather than just pointing out where it could get better, they
Mm.
actually said, this is great. And I love
Wow.
that. That was so lovely to know. Oh, that's the bit that resonated, to know the lines that really caught people's attention. So it was wonderful.
Okay, I have to ask you a cultural question here.
Sure.
So I'm American, you're Scottish.
Yeah.
We both live in the Netherlands, right?
Yes.
So I've been here like 9 years now. And for most of like 8 of those years, I was a basketball coach as well, right? For
Okay.
boys.
Yeah.
And for the past several years, I co-coached with a Dutch guy who I love dearly. We're great friends. And in so I want to hear your opinion about like the Dutch culture compared to Scottish culture. So in the like overly positive, happy-go-lucky American culture, if you do like you do 10 things, like there's let's take it to keep it on the basketball court, but it could also be on the written page.
Yeah.
So you do 10 things and you do 9 of them good and then one of them bad, then the American guy is going to say, great job on the 9 things. On that one thing, we'll get that thing, ship shape and it'll be great next time, right? So all positive and stuff. Whereas the Dutch guy, bless their hearts, my lovely Dutch friends. And I shouldn't even say this about my Dutch co-coach basketball guy, because he's not a negative guy at all. He was more the structure guy, and I was more like the strategy guy. But still, like in the Dutch culture, it's more like, yeah, so that one thing. Yeah, you got that.
Yeah.
That was bad. Oh boy, screwed that up all right. And so I remember because my born in America boys here really struggled with that in the beginning. Like,
Yeah.
I did 9 things right and one thing wrong, and my teacher only focused on the one bad thing. So I actually I can't even believe I'm saying this here on our live YouTube channel in the Netherlands. I'm gonna get my passport taken away. But I think it's really quite something that the editor at Storyhouse Works highlighted. This is good stuff. I
Yeah.
just I just wanted to point that out that dear editors of the world, please help us creators because
Yeah.
as confident as we may seem,
Oh, we need the pat on the
right?
back
We
too.
need it. We need the pat on the back. And you
Yeah.
mentioned that in your story as well of a few people you had shared
Yeah.
a few little snippets with or elements of your book, and getting that pat on the back is so important. So
Yeah. Just to
okay,
know you're on
so
the right track.
that's rant over. But how is Scottish culture in that sense?
So I think we're well, I'm from Glasgow, so I can only speak from that my kind of West Coast
Yeah,
upbringing. We'll tell you that you did really good. We'll tell you what
yeah.
went wrong, but don't get carried away with what's good about it. Okay, don't be forgetting what's bad. Don't be getting too big for your boots. Make sure that yeah, you're
I
not the
like
best in the world. Okay.
don't be forgetting.
Yeah,
Don't be
don't be
forgetting.
forgetting.
I
Yeah,
like that.
but no, my family and friends have been so supportive when the book came
Yeah.
out, which has been wonderful.
So working with Storyhouse Works editors, so
Mm.
they said, hey, this is good, and then they give you some feedback like this is unclear or this could use some work, and they give you some guidance as
Yeah,
to how to make it better. Yeah.
yeah, there was some cultural references which they highlighted of
Oh yeah.
it just might not land unless I give more explanation. I'd made a reference to Blur, the band, which is like a Britpop band that if you're
Yeah.
not from the UK, you might not actually know who they are.
Right.
Uh, or
Right.
it wasn't Blur actually, it was The Verve, if anyone knows them.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was little kind of little snippets of, as I say, just flipping a sentence round. It's something that when you're in the
Yeah.
bones of your work, you're in the weeds, you can't see it. So they really gave that fresh eyes approach, and breathed a little bit of life into it, I think, and really helped
Wow.
bring my words out of the page. It was, yeah, it was a wonderful process, and they definitely made the piece better.
And now this your piece in the Unexpected Gifts anthology is now out into the world. So
Oh,
as someone you said like you were just born thanks to the Storyhouse Works
yeah.
uh, you want to call it, not, I was going to say hospital, not hospital, immaculate conception.
Yes.
Uh, your work is now out publicly in the world in this book. How do you feel about that?
Oh, it was, I mean, it's been a bit of a whirlwind process, from, as I
Yeah,
say, clicking the send button and genuinely think I didn't think it would see the light of day. I was happy to just have sent it. Um, and so when I was picked, and then literally a couple months later, it's out there, out in the world. So it's been a really quick process as well.
yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, exhilarating, I would say. Slightly terrifying on the day when my friends and my family were putting it in their Amazon basket. I mean, every time I would get a message, my stomach would lurch. But I've had some really lovely messages, and I think the one I got some I got my first kind of fan Instagram message, which was
Wow,
amazing, from someone I've
wow.
never met, and they just said it really resonated with them as an expat. And I think that was one thing about my story, particularly, that
Yeah,
it will
yes,
resonate very deeply with expats and probably parents.
yeah.
So yeah, it's been an amazing process, but terrifying. As I say, I've
Wow,
never been done this before, so to know it's on the shelves and people can actually
yeah.
read it. Yeah, terrifying and wonderful.
So speaking of which, we can read Ashley's story on, if you can go to storyhouseworks.com/unexpected gifts or search for unexpected gifts on all bookstores everywhere, I think.
Yeah.
Um, but then what about your other book that's in the works? How can we find out about that or get on a waiting list
Yeah,
or
well, so as I say, I'm in my final edits, well, my own final edits, for it's called To Bleed Beneath the Moon. And it is a fantasy romance inspired by my Scottish and Celtic heritage. If you like
oh,
witches and war and magic, then you'll like it.
all right.
So it won't be available in the next few weeks. As I say, there's still some work to do, but you can find me on Instagram. So it's ashley.jones.books if
Okay,
anyone wants to
great.
follow my story as a baby author through my through my
Wow.
journey.
Oh, fantastic. Wow. So what has this experience with this anthology, what is this, how has this affected you or how does it help you or
I mean, it's I know I joke about the Storyhouse Works has given birth, but it really felt like that. It kind of gave me that
wow.
it threw me into this world that I was hiding myself from, that I so desperately wanted to be a part of, but I didn't think that I could, or I should, or I was allowed to be part of. It's given me a network, which I didn't have in the Netherlands
Mm,
before. So a network of writers and authors and editors and podcasters who
mm,
live and work here and are all trying to create beautiful things. So it's definitely opened me up to that, which I'm forever grateful for. And it's given me that boost to know that I can do this and I do have the right to be here. And I do have the right to put the words on the page, which I was doubting for a long time. So yeah, it's been a wonderful process, and I am eternally grateful for them for giving birth to me.
wow. 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 This is so good. I it's funny because I want to talk more about your little story, but your piece in the anthology, but I don't because I don't want to get too much into it because I'd rather be a teaser and have people
Yeah.
go buy the book
Go
because
buy the book. Yeah, and there's
yeah,
wonderful
it's
stories in there. They're all really varied as well, which I love.
yeah.
Everyone's got a different story to.
Your expat story, it really resonates as well. I've been an expat
Yeah,
several times in different places, and it's not all, parasol parasol umbrellas in your
and soup
cocktail,
waffles. Yeah,
Yeah, and soap
yeah,
waffles and sunny days sitting on the canal having a beer. It's
yeah,
it can be tough. So
definitely.
it was really helpful. And also to see how writing helped you, you out of
Mhm.
that. That was really
Yeah,
nice.
yeah,
As a fellow
definitely.
writer, it's really
Yeah,
a creator.
dragged me back to the page, for sure. So no,
Yeah.
it's been a wonderful process. And thank you for interviewing me.
Yeah. Yeah, my pleasure, Ashley. It's been great to get to know you. And we live so close, we'll have to we'll go have that,
Yeah.
parasol drink on the canal
Absolutely,
while the
yes. It
weather
might
is
not all be
gorgeous.
about that, but it definitely is about
No,
that sometimes.
no, but we have to bring it in there, right?
Yeah.
To balance out the less glamorous elements of expat life. Good.
Yeah.
Ashley, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for having me. Thank you for contributing your story, and I'm looking forward to your bigger works out available at some point. And yeah, thanks to Storyhouse Works. Thanks to Storyhouse Works for putting this all together as well. And thanks again, Ashley.
Thank you.